groups and we'd do all this stuff and doing all that training. Then when we got done in the evening, he said, all right, boys, he said, we're going to do a practice burn. We got a house that somebody's going to let us burn. Old knotty wood pine house. Looked like one of them old Jim Walter homes, just made out of pine. They got us in there and they set us down in a circle. And the house has already been gutted. The roof is tore off because environmental, you know, you don't want to burn the paper and you don't want to burn the tar and all this stuff. They gutted all the wiring out of the house. All we got to do is burn it. And we got in there and they set us down in a circle. An old Gribble, crazy man. Brother, he's about 5 foot. That man was a wild man. Anyway, he set us down there and he said, now don't get up, don't stand up, don't move till I tell you. And they lit that house up with us in it. Set it on fire. We're all sitting there, got our SCBAs on, sitting there with our tanks. He said, now don't turn them tanks on till we need to. Don't do nothing till I tell you. You're sitting there kind of Indian style. By the time he said, all right, go ahead and turn, because start to fill up smoke. So turn your tanks on. Trying to clear our mask, get the tanks on. And you can hear the ones that are starting to get excited because they start to hyperventilate. Yeah. Well, if you do that, your tank ain't gonna last very long. Yeah. And then bells start going off. Well, if the bell goes off, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes. Well, he wouldn't let you go. So the next thing you know, if you got upset, you're sucking that face mask to your face. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to unhook your mask, you bring it around and you open up your bunker gear and you slide it inside your coat, down inside your arm, so that your coat will kind of filter that and you can continue to breathe. But you got to be able to keep your mind clean to do that because it's getting hot. I mean, it was getting so hot that when guys finally walked out of there, the rocker emblems on their helmet had curled up. Their face shield had started to bubble. That man was nuts. Yeah. And he kept us in there till the last second. And we come out of there, and man, they was hitting us with that spray. And our bunker gear, man, was just steam coming up off of it. That's the hottest I've ever been in my life. And that ain't nothing compared to hell. Nothing. Not even a tenth of what hell's going to be like. Nothing compared to it. I tell you, the memory of it. He remembers the things. He remembers the good things he had on earth in verse 25. He remembers the evil deeds that he rendered toward Lazarus by not feeding him. He remembers every time that he rejected God. He also understands that there's a great gulf. And he remembers that the oncoming brothers that are lost and dying and that are heading his way. You know the worst thing about going to hell for me would have been? The family members. As I was in hell begging somebody to go get them. Don't let them come here. Don't let them come to where I'm at. Listen, if you ever love somebody and you've done something, you said, whatever you do, don't let them do this. Please don't let them do this. Stop them however you got to. That's what that man was like. He remembered his brothers were heading right where he was at, and he was begging, listen, send someone to bed. You know what? I tell you what, I grew up, I love my mom and dad. They were good people. And I told my people that they're good people. But we grew up a little on the rough side, right? And we had a Ouija board. Y'all may not grow up with Ouija board. We grew up with all that. We did seances, we did spooky stuff, we did Ouija. I'll tell you something, there's a devil in that Ouija board. And you sit there and you go, well, I believe in the astrophysical things, man, and I'm, tripping out there, and I don't know, there's probably somebody out there, there's more out there, there's so many planets and millions of this and me. Listen, if there's a God, there's a devil. If there's a devil that says he has demons. And those demons are looking for something to possess. And they want to possess you, if you let them. And you get there playing with that Ouija board, and I'm going to tell you what, it'll talk to you. I'm telling you, it'll talk to you. But you ain't going to like what it's going to say. Too many young people are killing themselves and dying over stupid stuff. And it's all demonic. He knew they were on their way to hell, and he knew that he was waiting for them. And the last thing I want you to see, is that the wicked themselves, now listen, that's summing us all up in the sun. You say, well, I'm not wicked. Yeah, you are. Every one of us in here. Jesus Christ, he said, himself said, there are none good, no, not one. So when you say, I'm not, then you're calling Jesus Christ a liar. Because Jesus Christ said, there's nobody good. Not you, not me, not him, not this preacher, not anybody. I'm wicked. And I needed a Savior. Just like you do. The wicked need a Savior. Hell is God's dumping ground for the universe. To have to live forever with the wicked. Can you imagine ending up in hell? And because of your foolish pride, you reject Jesus Christ. And then you grow up and you get married and you have kids, and because of your foolish pride, you have those kids, they reject Jesus Christ. Can you imagine mom, dad being in hell and your child burning in torment, looking at you going, why didn't you get us out of here? What kind of mother are you? Now for eternity, your child's going to be looking at you, accusing you. For eternity. You could have got us out of here. You wouldn't let me go to church with them. You laughed at the guy when he gave us a tract. You told me there was no hell. Is that the way you want to spend eternity? We're going to have a baptism here in a minute, but I'm going to give an opportunity. If you're here, stand with me.